Ever wonder how a small-town boy from Ohio rose to become one of the greatest legends of Hollywood? Today, we're taking a deep dive into Clark Gable, a man whose on-screen charm and rugged persona made him the undisputing of Hollywood.
Has the war started?
From humble beginnings to superstardom, Gable's journey was filled with love, loss, and unforgettable roles. Stick around as we explore his life, career, and lasting legacy. And hey, before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Sajjad Classic for more incredible stories from the golden age of Hollywood. William Clark Gable was born on February 1st, 1901 in Cadiz, Ohio. He didn't come from Hollywood royalty, far from it. Raised by his father after losing his mother at just 10 months old, Gable's early years were a far cry from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. In fact, as a young boy, Gable was shy and insecure, particularly about his deep voice and appearance. Yet there was a fire in him. By age 16, he saw a stage performance that sparked his desire to become an actor. But making it to Hollywood wasn't easy. He worked a series of odd jobs: lumberjack, oil field worker, even a tie salesman, before getting his first shot at acting. He spent years on the stage before catching the attention of the right people, but his big break was still years away. The road to fame was anything but smooth. In the 1920s, Gable worked as a stage actor, often rejected for film roles because casting directors didn't see him as a typical leading man. But that would change in the early 1930s when MGM, one of the most powerful studios in Hollywood, saw his potential. The turning point came when he landed a role in A Free Soul, 1931. He played a gangster, and though it wasn't the lead role, his tough, charismatic performance stole the spotlight. Gable quickly became MGM's most bankable star. His screen presence was magnetic, and audiences were hooked. His role in It Happened One Night, 1934, was a career-defining moment.
I asked you a simple question. Do you love her? Yes! But don't hold that against me. I'm a little screwy myself.
Playing Peter Warren, a down-on-his-luck reporter who falls in love with an heiress, Gable's comedic timing and charm captivated both critics and audiences alike. The film won 5 Academy Awards, including Best Actor for Gable.
I do want to take this opportunity of expressing my thanks and sincere gratitude to Mr. Frank Capra, the director of It Happened One Night, and Miss Claudette Colbert, who was gracious enough to co-star with me in that same picture. Thank you.
What made this role stand out was how relatable he made the character. He was not the flawless, handsome hero audiences were used to, but a real, rugged man with wit and personality. Next came Mutiny on the Bounty, 1935, where Gable portrayed the daring Fletcher Christian. His portrayal as a man who led a rebellion against an unjust captain was both powerful and nuanced, further solidifying his place as a top-tier actor. Critics praised his ability to blend strength and sensitivity in one performance. Before we get to one of Clark Gable's most iconic performances in Gone with the Wind, let me ask you something. Are you enjoying the fascinating story of Hollywood's king? If you are, now's the perfect time to subscribe to Sajjad Classic. We bring you all the golden moments from Hollywood's past and more stories about the legends that shaped cinema. Don't miss out on the next one. Hit that subscribe button, and now, let's dive into the role that made Clark Gable a legend.
No, I don't think I will kiss you. Although you need kissing badly. That's what's wrong with you.
Of course, we can't talk about Clark Gable without mentioning Gone with the Wind, 1939. In what is arguably his most iconic role, Gable played Rhett Butler, the charming, cynical rogue who falls for Scarlett O'Hara, played by Vivien Leigh. The movie was a massive hit, winning 10 Academy Awards and becoming one of the highest-grossing films of all time. Gable's Rhett Butler was both daring and charismatic, yet showed vulnerability, particularly in the famous closing scene when he delivered...
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Critics hailed Gable's performance as the role of a lifetime. He wasn't just acting, he became Rhett Butler. His natural chemistry with Vivien Leigh brought a dynamic tension to the screen that kept audiences on the edge of their seats. Even today, it's hard to imagine anyone else playing Rhett Butler with the same charm, complexity, and emotional depth. While Gone with the Wind may be his most famous role, Gable had many other notable films that showcased his incredible range as an actor. In Mogambo, 1953, Gable returned to his adventure roots playing a big game hunter caught in a love triangle with Grace Kelly and Ava Gardner. His performance was praised for blending his rugged masculinity with romantic vulnerability. The film was a hit, proving that Gable could still command the screen more than 20 years into his career. Another standout was The Hucksters, 1947, where Gable played a cynical advertising executive navigating the post-war world of business and romance. His sharp and charismatic portrayal earned high praise from critics and audiences alike. In Run Silent, Run Deep, 1958, Gable played a submarine captain during World War II, showcasing his talent for playing complex, serious roles. Critics admired his performance for its intensity and emotional depth. Off-screen, Gable's life was as dramatic as his roles. He was married 5 times, but his greatest love was actress Carole Lombard, his third wife. Their marriage was one of Hollywood's most beloved, filled with laughter and passion. Tragically, in 1942, Lombard died in a plane crash while on a war bond tour. Gable was devastated, and many say he never fully recovered from the loss. In his grief, Gable enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II, flying combat missions in Europe. His bravery in the field mirrored the strength he portrayed on screen, earning him admiration from both fans and fellow servicemen. Though he remarried a few times after Lombard's death, none of his marriages compared to his bond with her. As Gable grew older, his star didn't fade. In his final years, he continued to make significant films. The Misfits, 1961, was one of his last and perhaps one of the most emotionally raw performances. The film, which also starred Marilyn Monroe, was intense and tragic, and Gable's performance was praised for its vulnerability and depth. Sadly, just days after completing the film, Gable suffered a heart attack. He passed away on November 16, 1960, at the age of 59.
Oh, I only know that I love you.
That's your misfortune.
Clark Gable may be gone, but his legacy is everlasting. He wasn't just a star, he was the star of Hollywood's golden age. His roles, his charm, and his iconic performances continue to inspire actors and captivate audiences. Gable defined what it meant to be a leading man, rugged, charming, and with just the right touch of vulnerability. And that was the incredible life of Clark Gable, a man who lived as boldly off-screen as he did on it. If you enjoyed this journey through his life, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more fascinating stories from Hollywood's golden age. Thanks for watching Sajjad Classic, and we'll see you in the next video.